Hatchet. It remains a very, very good FA Cup final. And Hatchet! What a magnificent goal!
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sky Blue match preview under the lights at the racecourse ground, which is Wrexham on Friday night. Before I bring my guests in, just remember where you can find us. We are available on X or Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you watch us on YouTube, please go and like and subscribe. If you listen to us on a podcast, please go and rate us 5 stars. We are available on all platforms of Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, wherever else that you get your podcasts from. We are sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications. His logo's in the corner. He can do your steel fabrication work up and down the country, but mainly in the Coventry and Warwickshire area. We are partnered with the Sky Blue Tavern and Dillon's Brewery, and we've also teamed up with this season the Sports Social Podcast Network and Sky and Friends Dog Walking and Pet Sitting Services. So, without further ado, let me bring my first guest in. My co-host, as normal, Mark Smith. Good evening, Mark. You okay?
Good evening, Stuart. Yeah. Good evening, everyone listening.
Good. So, shortly we'll be bringing Matt on from the racecourse ramble. But before we do, obviously we played Watford at the weekend at home at the CBS Arena on Saturday. 12:30 kickoff again, Sky Sports Plus, I think it was. 3-1 victory. A game of two halves, you might say, because first half we were very good, very quick, very fluid. Played really well. Rushwood's made some outstanding saves. Second half, not so good. They were down to 10 men because they had a men sent off late on in the first half. Rushwood gave away a penalty as well. How did you think that we got on overall, Mark? And obviously, apart from the one change with Milan getting a 5th yellow card, he's suspended for the Wrexham game. Apart from that one change, do you see anything else happening?
Okay, so onto the game, I thought it was a good win overall. I thought Watford were a good side. I think they're a team that showed that they can mix it with, the better sides like ourselves at the moment. I thought they played some good football. I think if you look at the first half, yes, we did play well. The difference was we were clinical and they weren't. But that could easily have been any score after the first half. It could have been, 3-3, 4-3, 4-2, whatever. It was a really entertaining game for the neutral. Not an entertaining game, probably us as supporters, but we were really clinical. We took, the first goal was sublime play by Sakamoto, brilliant cross and a really intelligent header from BTA into the corner. Just used the pace of the ball, just guided it into the corner. It was a class goal. Good to see Jamie Allen, score a goal as well. He doesn't score many, but right place, right time. A really pile driver shot right into the corner net. Perfect. And then 2-0. I thought Watford after that, probably for a good 20-25 minutes. I thought played really well. I thought they were the better side. They reacted well to being 2 down. But as you say, Carl Rushworth made some really, really important saves. About 4 saves there. 4 goal-saving saves, and that to me was where we won the game for me. If we could see one, just one goal, the tails are up, and we're really on the back foot, and it could have gone either way. So, although it was a 3-1 win, it was a tightish game. Obviously, the sending off changed things a bit, and we got the third goal through Tatsu again, a really good run, really good shot into the corner. I thought we were a little bit disappointing second half. I thought we took our foot off the gas a bit. But overall, you can't really grumble too much. It's a really good win. 3 points, six wins on the trot, 28 points out of 12 games. We're averaging well over 2 points a game now. So there's so many positives. I think if we're being honest, performance wise wasn't our best, but if you're winning games of football and not playing your best, that's a sign of a good side. So overall, I'm really, really pleased where we are at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, the past 2 games in Portsmouth and Watford, I think sets us up nicely for playing Wrexham, because they're going to be physical, they're going to be powerful. We know what Kiefer Moore can do, and Josh Windass, and they've got some really, really good players, good championship players as well. They're not necessarily having the look at the draw at the moment because they are getting a few late goals conceded. We know that they can let in goals, but we also know that they're dangerous as well. So we'll get Matt's view in a minute as well. So we are still unbeaten, Mark. We've got Wrexham coming up. We've got Sheffield United coming up. A quick turnaround Friday, Tuesday. But I just want to mention Tuesday briefly, just because we've got the enemy playing live on Tuesday as well, which will be, it's just going to get the place rocking, isn't it?
It will do, yeah. I think it will create a really good atmosphere in the ground, and hopefully the team will follow up with a rock and roll performance as well to get another win. But yeah, I mean it's exciting times at the moment. I mean looking at the Wrexham game, they've done okay this season. I think they've been on a brilliant journey under Phil Parkinson. They've successive promotions from the National League up to the Championship. They have spent money, but they've brought in a lot of experienced players there. I'll be interested to see, I think, what Matt's view is on Sheaf, how he's been this season. I know I think he might be injured at the moment. There will be about Callum Doyle, who picked up a red card in last week. So, that's a blow for them. But they've had some decent results. I think Middlesbrough away is a really good result. To go there and get a point is a really decent result against a side second in the league. And obviously that's done us a bit of a favour. Increased our lead at the top to 3 points, effectively 4 points really with the amount of goals we scored, the goal difference. So it's going to be a tough game. I think the only nice thing about it is at least we play Friday, not Saturday, so we've got an extra day's rest for the Sheffield United game, which will be helpful for us. I think I'd imagine Parkinson will make a lot of changes for the Cardiff game in the Cup tomorrow, so I'd imagine that he won't be playing many of the first team players. But they've got good players. Nathan Broadhead is a really good signing from Ipswich. I think he's a good player. Dom Hyam, obviously we know well from his time with us, experienced centre-half. I know Blackburn were disappointed to see him go. So he's a good player. Josh Windass, of course, ex-Sheffield Wednesday. He's got an eye for a goal. So, and obviously, as you mentioned, Kiefer Moore, he's been at quite a few clubs, but he's a really good championship striker. So they've got some good options there in that team, and we've got to be our best to win.
Yeah, definitely. And on that note, let's bring Matt in. Good evening, Matt. How are you?
Hi, Matt.
Good evening, boys. I am very well, thank you.
Good. Thank you very much for joining us. Before we get into it, can you just let us know what you guys do and where we can find you?
Oh, yeah, no problem. So for people who do venture into the murky depths of other teams' podcasts and blogs and all that type of stuff, just on whichever social media platform you've got or Patreon, just look for Racecourse Ramble. We do a couple of podcasts in the week. I've got a Patreon channel, which I make, do loads of content for as well. And a Twitter, which is like everybody's. They're either brilliant or it's violent swearing when you've conceded a stupid goal and you're like, what was that idiot doing? So yeah, that's what we do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I was going to talk about the history, and then I was looking at the history. And in total, we've only played 12 games against each other, because I normally do the last 6 because there's loads, but we haven't got that many games. So the past 12 games, Cov have won 8. We've drew 1 and we've lost 3. Obviously, the most recent one that we can talk about was in the Cup a couple of years. I think it was a couple of years ago now.
Let's talk about that rather than Friday.
No. It was a 4-3 win to you guys. We had Vic Hamer we actually had Callum Doyle as well, as you mentioned to me off air earlier on, that we had Callum Doyle on the bench as well. Tavares started. He unfortunately got an injury running through. It was his ACL in the end that we found out, and he was out for the season. Vic came on, and we kind of we did okay. It was a bit here and there, if I can remember rightly. But we made the changes a little bit too late to actually kick on. Another 15 minutes or so, I think we would have got the fourth and we would have equalised, and we may have gone on to win the game as well. What's your recollection of that game, and what's changed since then? Apart from obviously the vast number of players, but has anything changed in terms of tactically that is done?
Oh yeah, possibly. So my memories were, I just remember turning up. I remember it just being, absolutely, I mean, you probably don't appreciate it now, or maybe you do, given the fact that you've just kind of got some permanent residency back, I think, fairly recently, haven't you? It's a great ground to come to. Excuse me. Car parking and everything was outstanding. Brilliant. Turning up at the game, and Parky actually rotated quite heavily, and we were all a bit like, oh, he doesn't fancy this, you know. But then the game played out in front of us, and like I blinked and we were 3-1 up, and I was like, what's going on here? This is bonkers. But it all happened so quick, and I was a bit worried that you can score too quick, the old cliche in it. So I was a bit concerned. I wasn't getting too excited, but then you get the red card, and then the goals keep coming, and we had Mark Howard in goal at the time. He tipped one onto the bar. And I remember the Alamo. I said to you, I remember the Alamo coming, and we were lucky to hang on in the end. But that's what cup ties are, I guess, when you're the lower league side, isn't it? It was a very good. I mean, you probably hate it. I get it, because you've lost to a lower league side, and one that was worse. It's the one that comes with all the razzmatazz. So that's probably made it sting a bit more for you than perhaps if you'd have lost to like a Notts County or something. Yeah. But it was, for our point of view, it was the perfect away cup tie, and it couldn't have got much better, realistically. But I'm very well aware that I said to Stuart, Casey Palmer ran us ragged that night. I thought he was really class. I know you've subsequently let him go, and what have you, but he was a problem all night for us. Whenever I see his name on a team sheet, I think he's at Hull now. I think his name was on the team sheet when we played him in the Carabao Cup. I was like, oh no, he's going to do it again. I can feel it. But he didn't, as it happened. So no, in terms of what's changed, well, not much changed until this summer, to be honest. Parky stuck with his three at the back, sort of a variation of 3-5-2 or 3-5-1-1 was his traditional, what he settled on early on at Wrexham and what he's played through thick and thin. But this summer he has mixed it up, and he said publicly that he wanted to have a few variations of a three at the back system to play through this season. So with us having Windass and Broadhead, the speculation was we would play a box midfield of a 3-4-2-1, if you like, and that's what we have touched on a couple of times. But we've never seen both. I don't think as of yet we've seen both them players on the pitch. It's always been Lewis O'Brien playing as one of the further ones with Broadhead or Windass. So we await to get everybody on the pitch fit, because we've been a little bit unlucky with injuries, like everybody is. I get it. So we have seen a little bit of tactical evolution, but we're still three at the back, and we still basically play the same way, which is a bit of catenaccio. So we're not going to allow you much space. We'll deny you space. We'll sit deep. We won't come out. We won't try and play. I'll be very unusual for us to concede a stupid goal trying to play out from the back. It'll be just get it up the pitch. And then we'll win the ball as high as we can and play from there. So we're not Brazil. Parkinson has never been Brazil, has he? I know you're a bit more like Brazil at the moment, but we will be a bit more anti-Brazil football, which might drive you nuts. But that's the way that Phil Parkinson wants to play. That's delivered him a bit of success, or you could argue a lot of success for our level. And I know you've got different success with FA Cup wins, etc. But for our level, it's delivered him, back-to-back promotions, and all he's done really is kind of upgrade the players to have better players to play his system. Sorry, that was a long answer. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Perfect. So I think I read somewhere or saw somewhere that earlier on in the season that Parkinson was looking like he might lose his job. What's the fan base like with him at the moment? Is it turned a corner, or are people still thinking he's not the man to do it?
There was like the start wasn't probably, I don't know, it depends what your expectations of the start were. And obviously we struggled to win at home until recently. I don't think realistically at the club that it was never a question. It was never a question mark for them. Okay. They're so heavily invested in him, and they're invested in him for a long time. They've given him 30 odd million to spend this summer. That's big money for us. It's fairly decent money for you, I'm sure.
No,
but that's
big massive money for us as well.
Right. So it's definitely big money for us. You think, we were National League 4 years ago. So, so they've invested really heavily in him. They trust him a lot. I think in the same way, that in the summer we were linked with every 35-year-old ex-pro, every 35-year-old pro who was like at the end of his contract or wanted to move. That chatter about Phil Parkinson was classed as the same garbage. There is no way they were looking to get that. Now you've always got some fans who will be anti a manager. I'm sure you've got one or two that'll still grumble in the corner.
Not at the minute. Not at the minute.
No, well, because you're winning it. But you wait till you drop points or you lose, then they'll come out. They come out the woodwork, don't they? Then,
of course they do.
Yeah.
So you always have them. So we're no different. That to be fair. But no, he's he's got too much credit in the bank, shall we say? I think he's pretty, and I say the owners are very invested in him.
Okay, fair enough. Mark, any questions for Matt?
Do you think there'll be any changes for the personnel from the team against Middlesbrough on Saturday?
Yes, I do, because we're a bit unlucky this week because we've got a midweek game. You get a rest, don't you, for a week? And then I think we're both playing in the midweek the week after. So today, Phil Parkinson's done an interview with like the local newspaper, and he's kind of, they hint that there's going to be changes without telling you the changes are going to be. Yeah. They kind of say, there'll be some changes. We need to freshen it up. So he said that about the game tomorrow. So I suspect he will rest who he can. The problem we've got is in one of the centre backs, the left centre back position. Doyle will be suspended, presumably for tomorrow and for Friday. They've not publicly told us that, but we assume he got a 3-game ban for that red card because Parky he was suspended on Saturday, and Parky said he's suspended tomorrow. So that implies to me that he's got a 3-match ban. But the person who replaced him on Saturday has gone down with a thigh injury and is going to be out for months, and that's Lewis Brunt, who's a young defender we got from Leicester who was quite highly regarded. So we're going to have to do some reshuffling at the back. And then tomorrow, I like Kiefer Moore won't play tomorrow, and there'll be a few of the midfielders who've been run ragged. So he'll rest a lot tomorrow, I'm sure. Because I don't know, depends what your priorities are, but I suspect Parky would be more focused on Friday than he is tomorrow. The caveat being it's Cardiff. It was probably anybody else other than Cardiff. You could probably safely say, he would rest nearly everybody. But because it's Cardiff, he's probably at the back of his mind thinking, I don't really want to lose that one because there is a bit of needle in that, isn't there?
Do you think Dan Scarr will come in the team, or do you think Connor Cody might be an option for Parkinson?
So I think it'll be Dan Scarr. Connor Cody played the opening day of the season where we lost late on at Southampton. We just run out of gas at the end and they scored 2 late goals. But Cody was really good that day. And then post that game, we were all over the place at the back. And it was Cody that lost the place when we bought Dom Hyam, who you should know, and Dom Hyam has come in like a Rolls Royce, calmed everything down. We're conceding a lot less. We were wildly open, and we concede a lot less chances now. He sits in the middle of our back three and seems to have an element of control. So I suspect Cody might see some action against Cardiff, but Scarr has been coming on before Cody. When you've got a couple of players on the bench, it's Scarr that seems to be coming on. So in my head, that's telling me he's higher in the pecking order at the moment.
Yeah.
But that's me guessing. Remember.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Obviously, talking about transfers and people that you brought in, obviously you did bring in Ben Sheaf from us. How's Ben Sheaf been getting on? Well, he was very injury prone when he was at Coventry. I, for one, didn't necessarily want to see him go, but I thought at the price, I think it was the right thing to do. How has he got on with you guys?
He's been injured mainly. No, Phil Parkinson made a point not to integrate him too quickly, is what he said. He always has done that with signings, Parky. He doesn't throw you in at the deep end. He kind of lets you acclimatise, and I guess he lets you learn Parky ball is perhaps how you might phrase it. But then when he did come in, he looked fine for a couple of games. He looked exactly what we thought we were going to get. But then he subsequently did get injured, so has missed a couple of games. Phil Parkinson did say he could have played on Saturday if we really needed him to, but he chose not to. So I don't know whether he's got your game in mind and thinking he'll bring him back then, or whether he might play him tomorrow. We'll know more tomorrow. But he has. We haven't seen the best of Ben Sheaf, obviously. And you're in the position where you could let somebody of that caliber go. Or be a backup and then get a good offer and you can let him go. Whereas for us, we're coming at it from the bottom, aren't we? So to get somebody of Ben's experience and caliber, granted he's got injury challenges, was a good move for us probably. I don't know who else was available. That's the challenge. You know what I mean? But I think I suspect he probably, everybody knew Ben Sheaf was then. 18 months ago he was as good as anything if he was on the pitch. But it's going to be interesting to see whether he is fit or not, or what the situation is. I suspect he's touch and go.
Okay, fair enough. Obviously, you've mentioned Callum Doyle. Obviously, we've mentioned Nathan Broadhead. The ones that you let go, now, are you missing any of them? Obviously, the three that I'm going to mention is Paul Mullen, Jack Marriott and Ollie Palmer, because obviously coming up through, watching, Welcome to Wrexham and things like that, they were the ones that were coming through. Have you missed any of them? Do you wish that you'd maybe have kept Paul Mullen for the goals?
So where do we start with that? Ollie Palmer was kind of replaced by Kiefer Moore, that big target man. Okay. Ollie Palmer was a battler and he worked hard and he was charismatic, but he didn't score enough, is basically what Phil Parkinson said. So the natural upgrade was Kiefer Moore, who does the same things, but will chip in with goals. So that was, I don't think we really missed the footballer of Ollie Palmer. Jack Marriott was a bit in and out. He started last season on fire and then broke his leg. So we didn't have him and then he never got back. So we never saw the best of Jack Marriott, really. So I don't think we missed him at all. The Paul Mullen one is interesting. That was the one that was a bit of a debate because he'd scored so many goals for us in the previous years. But the debate was the debate last year was he good enough for League One? Because he'd not had a long time playing in League in League One. And then he was he was injured. He was in and out. He was never the Paul Mullen that we had in League Two or the National League. But he was one of those sort of iconic people because he had basically fired us to promotion. So you miss the person and you miss the fist bumps and if Mullen was warming up, people would get off their seats and but like you look at him at Wigan now and he's not ripping it up, is he?
No, that's right.
He doesn't play a lot. So what are the chances of him being influential in the Championship? And the fact that Parky let him go tells you that he didn't think he was going to be much of an influence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we missed the aura and the person, I think, more than because we haven't got much relationship with a lot of these players. We changed 13 odd players in the summer, which is a lot in it. So we haven't got a lot of memories and songs and a relationship with some of these players. So that's the challenge that as a fan base we've got at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Any other questions for Matt Mark?
Nothing more, no.
Okay. Any questions for us, Matt? What do you think our threats are?
Oh, well, it's going to be Brandon Thomas Asante, isn't it? Is Radoni fit? Is there a chance that he will be in and around the squad? What's his situation?
Well, about 4 weeks ago, Lampard came out and said that it's more rather weeks than months that he would be back. But every game week, is kind of saying is not available, still not available. So the honest answer is we don't know. He could be available for Friday. It's unlikely, but he could.
I think he'll. I don't think he'll be around for Friday. I think he'll be back probably. I'm going to guess at the Stoke game.
Start making sub appearances and work his way back.
Yeah. But we're winning games without him at the moment. So I was like, oh god, that's a really big loss for us. And of course, it is a loss, but the fact we're winning games without him is great to see. Because my fear this season was we had a really good strong 11. The first 11 was really good, but the backup players weren't as strong.
Yeah.
But I've been proven wrong in that regard because the backup players have come in and done a good job. So I think the thing with Lampard though is he's improved the players that he inherited from Robbins. Robbins, of course, did a great job taking us from League Two to Championship, and we was a solid. We're always a solid side defensively. Robbins was don't concede goals. We'd always win by the odd goal, but Lampard and the coaching staff have really worked their magic. I mean, Victor Torp is a man. He's a monster now in that midfield. Thomas Asante has been sublime. Has been incredible. I think the defensive pair in the kitchen and Thomas has been good. We've got Watford in as backup, and that's up their games. So that's credit to Lampard, the coaching team. The fact that we haven't really spent a lot of money, really. We just the players that he has got at his disposal, he's improved. And I think one other good thing is we've got rid of the players we want to get rid of, and we've kept pretty much the core squad from last season that got us to the playoffs last season. So it's looking really good. But I'm under no illusions. Wrexham's going to be a tough game on Friday night. So it's going to be got to be our best. But there's games before that I thought, I didn't fancy going to Portsmouth and getting a result, and we managed to win 2-1. So it's the Championship is a tough league, but look, it's exciting. I mean, it's exciting for us as Coventry fans, but it's better watching the Championship than the Premier League, of course, from a neutral.
I agree.
But I'm looking forward to going. I'm actually going to Wrexham, so I'm looking forward to going to my first visit there. So that'll be good.
Okay, 2 things then. I'll give you some recommendations for pre-match in a minute. But I guess the question that Phil Parkinson will be asking is, how do you beat Coventry? How do we do you some damage? I mean, we'll make it physical, and I guess you'll either know whether to stand up to that or not. But how do we, how do you think you hurt Coventry?
Go on, Stuart, you go first.
Wow, the honest answer is, at the minute, I don't really know. I don't know how teams are going to beat us because obviously nobody has. I think Norwich were probably the closest to doing it because they scored early and they sat back and they time wasted from the 20th minute. It was utter ridiculous and it was so frustrating.
We've all seen it.
Yeah. And look, you're probably going to do that if you were playing away from home, if you were coming to the CBS. But at home, your fans, I would say, don't want to see that and wouldn't want to see that. So the honest answer is how to beat us is score early and probably then defend for your life. Because if, we don't know what we're going to be like when we go behind. Because I think there's probably only Norwich that comes to mind. Mark might be able to prove me wrong, but I think there's only Norwich that scored before we have, and then that we struggled to break them down because they were away side. We don't know what the home side's going to be because we've normally scored first. We went ahead against Derby, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we
You're front running all the time, aren't you? Yeah,
we're trying at
yeah.
Derby.
So we were trailing, but we went first, didn't we? We scored first. So
yeah, I mean, the other thing to point out is we haven't got Milan Van Ivak for this game. I think he's suspended because he's picked up 5 yellows.
Yeah,
so
right.
that brings in Kane Hesler-Hayden, who's a decent deputy. Was at Preston last year on loan from Villa. Player of the season at Preston, but hasn't featured as much for us. But I think what I would say is when I watched Watford play us on Saturday, pressed us quite well. There were a couple of times we were a little bit open defensively when Milan was a bit caught out of position. Teams generally like to pinpoint our width, maybe De Silva, try and play long diagonal balls. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Kiefer Moore might just pull away to the wide and try and win headers and bring Windass into play, that kind of thing. So I think that's where although we beat Watford 3-1, there were sort of times in the match I thought, you know what, if Watford could have stuck one of them chances away, it's a really different game. And the first half was the key to beating Watford because they didn't take their chances and we did, and it's as simple as that. And we were clinical, and that's one of the things that has really been impressive with us this season is when we're taking our chances, whereas previous seasons would be like, I mean, the Norwich game is the only game that Stuart said earlier. It's the only game where we had about enough chance to win 2 games of football. We didn't take them. And it took a 92nd minute goal from Wright to get us back in the game. Even that was a missed kick into the back of the net. Yeah. So it was a horrible game to watch. We should have won. Norwich were diabolical. I think they're going down this season at the moment from what I'm seeing of them, but that's another story. I think pressing really. I think a lot of teams try and press us.
Won't be us.
No,
won't be us.
But I think Wrexham got their own style of football. You know, you've got Kiefer Moore, who's good in the air, and he's always he's a good striker. He's a good striker at the Championship level. Windass is decent, so you know we're up against 2 quality players there. So yeah, I mean, I think that's probably my view on it anyway.
It's interesting you say that because we're not ruthless, and that's cost us in games. And I think we've lost most points from winning positions. I think it's 11 points that we've lost from winning positions because we've got players like Ryan Hardy, who is fine at this level, but we were warned he was streaky, and he's a couple of games he's missed big chances at key times. I think in the 90th minute, it was 1-0 at Southampton. He was through on goal, misses a chance. And then 5 minutes later, they've scored twice, and we've lost the game on the opening season, on the opening day of the season. So, that's one of our issues at the moment. I can sympathise with your lack of ruthlessness, shall we say?
Well, I hope he gets addressed. I hope he gets addressed after our game. So
after the game.
We did all right on Saturday. We looked really good. They got one chance where we've gone to sleep, Middlesbrough, but the rest of the game they played in front of us and not behind us. And we were comfortable, to be honest. Yeah. They were not making very much at all. So
I think it's about who gets the first goal because, if Wrexham get the first goal, they just play the same way. If we get the first goal, then they have to come out. They can't just, I'd be interested. They'll have to come out at some point and take a risk, but we'll see what happens.
The way that we play anyway, we come out straight away. We don't necessarily come out fast, but we play our way and we play with the ball down on the floor and we play good football. And, it will go out to Sakamoto and it will go out to Ephraim Mason-Clark and they'll bring it in and they'll take players on. And then you've got Torp, you've got Allen, you've got Hadji, and then you've got Grimesy as well, just mopping everything up. And, we scored goals from long throws, from corners. Like I said, we are at the minute, and Mark mentioned about Milan being out. Now, I think personally, if you give Kessler-Hayden a run of games, I think he would be better defensively than Milan would be, because Milan does get caught out sometimes in his positioning where I don't think Kessler-Hayden would. Personally, that's just my personal feeling. But Milan's just so good going forward,
I get it.
And he's got his long throws and stuff as well. So we've got a good combination on that right hand side now as well. So, but yeah, like I said, nobody has beaten us yet, so I don't know the best way to beat us. So on that then, prediction time. what's your prediction? I'll come to you first, Mark. What's your prediction, mate?
Tight game. I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in it, but I'm going to back us to sneak a 1-0 win. But a tight game.
Nice clean sheet for us. That's what I like to see. Matt?
My gut feeling is that you'll win it by 1 or 2 goals, but I think we will score. So let's go for a let's go 2-1 just to be safe. You'll win it 2-1.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. I was originally going to go for a clean sheet, but I've changed my mind. I think you will score because you do score in a lot of games. You might lose, but you do score in most games. So I think you will score. But I am going to go I'm going to go for the same scoreline that we beat Watford. So I'm going to go for 3-1. 3-1 City. I think we'll have enough to do it as long as we're on it. If we're not on it, then you could sneak a win. But I think the way that Lampard's gotten playing at the moment and the way that Lampard is, we spoke about Lampard off air, and he's played at such a high level. He'll know how to keep them players' feet on the ground and to make sure that they're up for every single game. It's going to be down to the players, but it's not going to be on Lampard if we lose it. It's going to be a case that the players don't play. But I think we'll still win, and I'm going to go for a 3-1. Any other questions, Mark, to Matt?
No, nothing more for me. Thanks.
Fantastic.
Can I just make a recommendation? Just because some of you might get there early on Friday and stuff if you finish work early enough. So just across the road from the racecourse ground, there's a petrol station just being renovated, and next to there is a very good place called the Mice Gwyn. Yeah. As long as you're not idiots, they'll welcome away fans. There's food and drink, indoors and outdoors. I don't know what the weather forecast is. So obviously, once you've found somewhere to park, which is a challenge in Wrexham, then head to the Mice Gwyn. You can go to the turf, which is sort of attached to the ground, but it's small and it's getting in. You can be queuing up to get in. Whereas the Mice Gwyn, there's plenty of room, especially outside. So if the weather, as long as it's pretty not raining, you'll be all right outside. Loads of room, home and away fans, food inside and outside. It'll be fine. So the Mice Gwyn, just opposite the ground. You're 30 seconds from the ground, if that.
Will I expect to bump into Ryan Reynolds there, maybe? In one of them places,
I highly doubt it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. He does, when they do turn up, they do go wandering around town on overnight. So
fair enough.
Nice, lovely. Any other questions for us, Matt?
No, I don't think so. It seems as you're not giving anything away. I've had Parky on speakerphone. We were hoping to get some insight, but clearly we're not. It's not going to happen.
No, not a chance.
Tell him we're an awful team.
To be fair, he's one of those old school managers. He'll when he can, he still travels up and down and watches teams when on non-match days and stuff. So they'll analysts know everything now, don't they? It's just whether you can execute whatever your plan is, isn't it?
That's right. So I do quick fire questions at the very end, Matt. So I've got 5 questions for you, nice and easy. Yep. If you can, 1-worded answers, but don't worry about it. If it goes into a sentence, it's fine.
All right. Okay.
So the first one is player to look out for you guys this season.
Kakache.
Okay, where does he play?
Left wing back.
Okay. Where will you finish this season?
13th.
That's changed in the space of
I have. I said 15th. My pre-season prediction was 15th, but we spent 30 million after that, so it's not far off, is it? It's close enough.
I'll give you it.
Thank you.
Where will Cov finish?
Promoted.
Okay.
You're not bothered, really, are you? Just as long as you go up. Let's be honest, you don't care, do you?
Well, I do.
Oh,
I don't want to finish second.
Right.
I'll
have it then. We'll have it then. Can we have it then? And you
want to go up first or a playoff winner?
No, I don't want
playoffs since where we are.
I don't want Wembley. Thank you. No, I want automatics.
And one player from Coventry you would take.
Right now, it'd be Thomas Asante, wouldn't it?
Ben Sheaf. You've got him.
Now, right now, somebody who's in form can score goals, live wire. That's, I think, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, definitely. BTA is in sensational form, top of the league in the goal scoring charts on his own, with Haji Wright a close second as well. So, and Torp's in the top 5 as well. So, and it looks like Torp might be back for Wrexham as well, because I believe he was out injured with a tight calf. They didn't risk him. He's back in training this week apparently, so he should be back for your game as well. So, on that note, thank you very much, Matt. Just remind us where we can find you and what you do.
Racecourse Ramble on all your social media platforms. You have to have everything now, don't you? Everything.
You do, yeah.
TikTok, Patreon, Instagram. I've got everything on there. A couple of podcasts a week. And then the hardcore Wrexham fans join the Patreon because they like all the extra goodies. So,
Nice.
That's where we are.
Is it just you, or is it several members?
No, I have a couple of regulars, shall we call them? But we do freshen it up periodically. If we've got new people showing interest in wanting to do it, then we're always an open book when it comes to people who want to come on. So
Nice.
I just have to do all the organising,
Fair enough. Just remember where you can find us, guys. It is scrolling on the ticker as well. We are on X or Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Please go and like and subscribe. We're available on podcasts as well, so go and rate us 5 stars. We're sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications. We're partnered with the Sky Blue Tavern and Dylan's Brewery, and also teamed up this season with Sports Social Podcast Network and Sky and Friends Dog Walking and Pet Sitting Services. So, Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Much appreciated once again. Matt, we'll get you on for the reverse fixture as well, if that's okay.
No problem.
And good luck. Good luck for tomorrow. I hope you have many injuries.
Red card and all sorts. Yeah.
All sorts. No, good luck for the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup game, and good luck for the season. Apart from our games, obviously. So on that note, play up Sky Blues. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.